Now let's try to write a program for the interpolation searching algorithm in Python. So inside the searching folder, let me just create a file called interpolation search.py. Here, let me just create a class called interpolation search. Okay. Here, let me define a function called interpolation underscore search, and it will take the arguments array and the value that user wants to search. Okay, as part of the pseudocode that we have written, if you remember, we will define variable called start, which will basically define the position at which we are going to start in the part of the array that we are searching for the value that user has passed, right? So in the beginning, the start index will always be 0. Along with that, we will also define one variable called end, which is nothing but the end index in the part of the array that we are searching. In the beginning, it will be the length of the array minus 1. Along with that, we will also define one variable called position, and we will declare it with -1. Later on, when we are actually implementing, we will update the position with the value that we get by calculating the value by using the formula that I had explained earlier. Now what we will do, simply while the start value is less than or equal to end value, and whatever the value that I want to search is greater than or equal to the value at the start index, that is ARR of start also, and whatever the value that I want to search is less than or equal to the value at the end index. That means whatever the value that is at the start index could be the value that I want, or whatever the value we have at the end index could be the value that I want. So I'm simply putting this comparison. Once we do this, what we need to do, we will simply calculate the position equal to start plus end minus start divided by whatever the value we have at the end minus whatever the value we have at the start. So here this value could result in floating point result, right? So to make it a whole number, I will simply floor it. So for that, I'm going to import math library. From math library, math.floor of the whole value. Okay, here also let's just put a parenthesis for readability. Now whatever the value that we get here, we will multiply it with the value that user wants to search subtracted by the value we have at the start index. Okay, this is how we calculate the position. Okay, now what we have to do, whatever the value we have at this position index, right, we need to compare it with the value that user has passed, just like we did in the case of binary searching. If ARR of position is equal to the value that user has passed, then we will simply return that position itself. Okay, at any case, if this condition has not matched, then there could be two scenarios, right? Whatever the value we have in the index position could be larger than the value that user passed, or it could be smaller than the value that user has passed. Based on that, we either search on the left part of the array or on the right part of the array. To honor that, I'll simply define a else if condition, and the value at this position, if it is greater than the value, that means that whatever the value we have in the position is greater than the value that I'm searching for. That means that the possible range is on the left part of the array. So we need to search on the left part of the array, right? So how will we search in that? We'll simply update the largest index to position -1. That is, we will update end to position -1. Okay, if this is not the case, that means whatever the value that I want to search is greater than the value at the position. That means the possible range is on the right part of the array. So to search on the right part of the array, we will move the start to position plus 1. Okay, once we execute this while loop for all the possible case, right, that means as long as this condition is matched, then we would have exhausted all the positions that possibly can contain the value that user has passed. If none of the indexes contain that value, we will simply need to return -1. Okay, that condition I have added here. Okay, this is how we actually implement the interpolation searching algorithm in a sorted array. Okay, especially ascending order sorted array. Now let's simply pass some array values and let's see if it is actually searching the values as we discussed. And let's say the value that I want to search is 4, and let's create an object for interpolation search equal to interpolation search. From this interpolation search, sorry, is is a keyword, right? So let's say iss dot interpolation search, and it will take the array comma value. Okay, it will return the index, right? Let's store it in index variable and let's simply print it. Print index. Okay, if I execute this program now, the value 4 is available at index 3, so I should basically get the output as 3. For that, let me simply write python 3 inside the searching folder interpolation search.py. Okay, I got the index 3. Similarly, let's say I want to search for a value 7. Now if I simply save it and execute, I got the index 6 which has the value 7. Okay, similarly if I pass the value 17, if I execute it, since 17 is not available in the array, I got -1. Let's again, if I pass the even smaller value, that is smaller than the smallest value we have in the array, if I execute the same program again, I got the -1 in this case too. Okay, so whatever the algorithmic implementation that we have done is working as expected. Okay, this is the simple implementation of interpolation searching algorithm. All you have to remember is it is almost similar to the binary search implementation, except that in the binary search implementation we will decide, we will divide the array into two parts by calculating the mid. Mid is nothing but start plus end divided by 2. Based on the value of the mid, we either search on the left part of the array or on the right part of the array. But here that mid is nothing but position. This position's value can be calculated using this formula that you see on the screen. Okay, based on this position value, we either search on the left side or we search on the right side. Okay, that's all there is with respect to interpolation searching algorithm. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.